I thought I was going to be talking to Phil Duncan from WeatherWatch.co.nz at 11:15. Turns out it was 12:45. Phil wasn't confused. He had it all sorted. He joins us on the program now. Kia ora, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Kia ora, good to be back with you.
And sorry to add to the general chaos of life in that regard. Hey, I got this theory, which, I was thinking this and I thought Phil will know the answer to this. With what the weather does in the first half of the year, does that give an indication of what the weather's going to do in the second half? Or is it like, I don't know, a Warriors game? The first half may look all good, but it can all change after halftime, and actually there's no necessarily connection between the proverbial game of two halves.
Yeah, basically, I think the rugby, the sport analogy is a good one because, just because you won in the first half doesn't mean that you win in the second half.
Yeah.
Our weather can be like that. Although if you ask a lot of farmers, they will often say to you, if it's been a very wet start to the year, they expect a dry end to it. It does find a way over 12 months of kind of balancing the books.
Yeah.
But not always. That's not a rule though. But it usually the law of averages means that at some point it does balance back out.
And it is really interesting actually for people that work the land, for people, I mean, this is their livelihood, they're dependent on this, they don't have all the fancy gadgets and maps that you have, Phil, but this is their lived experience. In some cases, handed down multiple generations. Yeah, in some ways it's not science, it's intuition, but perhaps surprisingly more accurate than you would think.
Yeah, I mean, gut instinct is not something that should be, discounted. In fact, I think that's one of the things that's made WeatherWatch a bit more accurate is because we do put gut instinct into things. Today's a great example. Pouring with rain in Auckland this morning. The forecast that I saw from our own website said just a few showers, and so did everyone else. And then this one area just got, more intense. And so it's a gut instinct that is actually. We changed our forecast a couple of hours ago to say instead of showers turning to rain for a time, and even going out of our way to say this will break what was forecast. There's going to be heavier downpours than what we expected. And so that's a bit of a gut instinct that you just look at the radar and go, oh, that doesn't quite look right. I think this is going to be one way or the other. And that's a big part of it. And farmers and growers do that every day of their lives.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to make decisions about the future and hey, their livelihood depends on it. So that built over time. I mean, one of the good things, though, is, yes, gut instinct will get you so far, but add to that your own gut instinct and some of the maps and gadgets that you've got because there's an app for that. Farmers can get accurate weather information to make some of their decisions on. Certainly some technical boosts to the farming community.
Yeah, well, when we built our WeatherWatch app, the reason we did it is because you just said before, I've got, tools that they don't have.
Yep.
That's true to some degree, but what I'm trying to do is change that and what we call democratizing data.
Yep.
In other words, making it available for everyone. It shouldn't just be for the Met Service or for the chief forecasters here and there. It should be for everyone. And the more you explain people how things work, the more understanding they have when the forecast doesn't go quite as you thought it would, but you can understand why. And if you understand why, your frustration levels change and you have a much broader understanding of what is on its way and what's on its way out.
And hey, in terms of gut instinct, having a bit of science with that and having information order-based decisions, whether or not it's like, hey, tail end of the school holidays, what are we going to do with the kids over the weekend? Or whether it's like, no, it's going to be a bit cooler over the weekend, time to bring the sheep down from the top paddock. All of this useful information on how we make decisions, how we plan our lives, right?
That's right. That's part of the reason why I do these bigger picture weather forecasts. You watch TV and you have to watch every small town's weather forecast before they finally get to your place.
Yeah.
You could have seen that on your phone in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So you're better off to make that video presentation about what is driving the weather, and you have to zoom out to do that. Zoom out to see the Southern Ocean and the tropics and Australia and even over to Madagascar sometimes.
Yeah, wow.
And that's really helpful. That's how we work out what's coming up in the next few weeks ahead.
So a colourful map behind you, Phil. What is coming up? Honestly, I'm thrown by the colour scheme. It does look a bit frosty, your map today.
It's not though. It's the opposite.
Okay.
We've got warmer northerlies blowing through at the moment, and warmer. By that I mean warmer than average. It's not
Okay.
warmer for this time of year. Doesn't necessarily feel warm, but warmer conditions coming through. So there's a lack of frost actually over the next few days.
Hmm.
But next week a bit of a chance. But to be honest with you, the main reason why that map is colourful is because we've got our third big low in 3 weeks coming out of the Tasman Sea.
Wow.
What you would expect at this time of the year, but it's a bit relentless. And actually, what we're seeing over the next few weeks ahead is a lot of low pressure dominating the Southern Ocean, dominating the Tasman, and high pressure not really being over us. You know, those beautiful clear days where we get frosts, not as many of those on the way, maybe here and there for some regions, especially in the South Island. But yeah, North Islanders, especially Cook Strait northwards, we're seeing that westerly wind really blowing through for the next couple of weeks. So it's whether that feels like spring or autumn to some people and not quite like winter, we'll have to just wait and see.
And hey, we started talking about a game of two halves, and that's generally the case for New Zealand. Hey, depends what coast you're on as to what
Yeah.
sort of day you're having, right?
That's right. And westerlies tend to do what is textbook 101 New Zealand weather, which is West Coast gets the rain, East Coast stays dry. And, we're seeing rainfall totals of 150, 200, 300 millimeters over the next couple of weeks on the West Coast, and up to, 80, 100 millimeters for parts of the North Island's western side. Jump to the East Coast and Hawke's Bay, Canterbury, they might only have just a few millimeters up to maybe only 10 over the next couple of weeks. So it's that traditional prevailing wind. And like I say, if you do geography at school, this is one of the first things you learn is the
Yeah.
prevailing wind and what it does to our weather. So normal kind of stuff, except maybe a degree above average as far as temperatures are very generally concerned.
And hey, even if you've forgotten everything you learned at high school like me, you can, of course, get accurate, up-to-date and useful information on the WeatherWatch app, whether you're a townie or a cowcocky. Do check it out, weatherwatch.co.nz. Phil, thanks for what you do. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great weekend when it finally gets around.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.